Alright, so there's a little film coming out pretty soon. It's called KRAVEN the Hunter. I don't know if you've heard of it. I am personally planning on going to see it just to see what in the world the new film in the Sony Spider-Man universe could possibly bring to save a dying franchise, ? Now, for those of you who are unaware, there's a deal that Sony has with Marvel where they basically, long story short, have to just continue to make movies that are related to Spider-Man and his characters, including his Rogues Gallery, which is what they've been doing lately. And they have to make a movie basically I think they have to have a movie in production every 6 or 7 years, something like that. And if they do that, then they get to keep the rights to Spider-Man. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that they have to continue on this current path that they're on, because the current path that they're on, they're using this shared cinematic universe style of filmmaking with these Spider-Man villains. And so they started out with Venom, then they did Venom Let There Be Carnage, I believe. I think that was the next one. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it was Venom, and then it was Venom Let There Be Carnage. Morbius was there somewhere. Madam Web was there somewhere. And then Venom The Last Dance was there. And now we have finally reached KRAVEN the Hunter. And the question that I have here is not necessarily is KRAVEN going to be good? Because, whether or not KRAVEN is good, I think is a little bit irrelevant to this question of if it even matters anymore what KRAVEN the Hunter does. And if KRAVEN the Hunter can even affect the Sony universe at all. Because here's the thing, right? The Sony universe has not had a quote-unquote good film in it since the first Venom film. And even the first Venom film was critically pretty much panned. But let's go down the list here. Venom Let There Be Carnage was actually liked by critics a little bit more, but I believe audiences didn't like it as much, and it didn't make nearly as much money as it did the first one. Venom The Last Dance was critically panned as well, and the audiences also didn't seem to like it, and it's made some money, I think $400-ish million, so there is that. But it also was kind of a thud for, the ending of the Venom franchise. Morbius was Morbius. We all know that. Madam Web was Madam Web, somehow arguably worse in terms of the critical reception and the audience reception. And so now it comes down to KRAVEN the Hunter. Because yes, Sony is making the animated Spider-Man films and they're doing fantastically. But these live action ones have just been miss after miss after miss, and we now have KRAVEN the Hunter. And the question is really, if KRAVEN the Hunter is the best movie ever made, is it going to save the Sony universe? If KRAVEN the Hunter is the worst movie ever made, is it going to kill the Sony universe? And I think the answer is no. To both questions. I think it just doesn't matter, because honestly, guys, if we go into KRAVEN the Hunter and we see, it's just a terrible, terrible movie, I don't think this does anything. I think that Sony's just still going to keep trying to make these movies. Maybe they'll just reboot, and maybe they'll just, try other things with these characters, but I don't think so anymore. I think Sony is just really dead set on continuing to make these movies. Now, we don't have an announcement for any other movies because, guys, can you believe this? 3 Sony Spider-Man movies came out this year. We had Madam Web, we had Venom 3, we had KRAVEN the Hunter. That's 3 times as many Sony Marvel movies as the MCU had, which was just Deadpool and Wolverine. Next year, though, I don't believe there's going to be any Sony Universe Spider-Man pictures. In fact, Spider-Man 4 is entering production, but that's part of the MCU. So really, I don't think we have any more, Sony projects in confirmation. I know that there were rumors of an Agent Venom movie or whatever, but nothing has been confirmed by Sony. The El Muerto movie is dead as far as I know, and so nothing is confirmed. So the question is really, what happens after here? Venom 4, not likely. Madam Web 2, very not likely. Morbius 2, very not likely. KRAVEN the Hunter 2, well, that just depends on how KRAVEN the Hunter 1 does, and we'll see about that. So really, the question is, what happens after this, KRAVEN the Hunter film? And I don't know. I just think the likeliest answer is that Sony just makes up something else and then, sends it into production. The Agent Venom film seems like, as good of a guess as anyone else's, but I think Sony's really just hoping KRAVEN the Hunter is good and they can make another one of it, because honestly, I don't think it matters. I think that, we've been talking about this for a while, but it's just a rights battle at this point. And so the fact that, KRAVEN the Hunter is coming out, look, I hope it's good. I hope every movie is good, but I can't imagine that anything is going to really change from Sony's plans, because they still, They want to keep the rights to Spider-Man, and they're making Spider-Man 4, and at the end of the day, they got what they wanted, which is keeping the rights to Spider-Man, and Marvel gets what they want, which is making Spider-Man 4. So really, I just don't think, KRAVEN the Hunter is going to change the plans of the Sony universe at all, very much. But I will leave that to you guys. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think the KRAVEN the Hunter movie is going to do for Sony's plans? Are they going to change it dramatically? Is it going to, maybe there's a scenario in which KRAVEN the Hunter tanks and it just completely changes their plans and they make an entirely new universe that's much better, or maybe it just doesn't do anything. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, so let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below.